I've been on the art grant committee for 4 years, and what I do professionally is I work for a nonprofit art service organization. So I'm really into art, and I'm really into participation and community, and all of those things sort of wrapped up. So when I submitted my proposal for why I wanted to go to the GLC, it was all about art and all about community. So the presentation that I created is for you all, it's for the people in my office, and it's for our board of trustees, because my organization, through my participation in Apogaea and Burning Man, has come to realize that there's a huge change in the way that the arts are supported. We very much are in the bureaucratic side and government organization side of supporting the arts. So we deal with a lot of hoop jumping and contracts and legal crap and that sort of thing. And so Burning Man is the antithesis, the opposite of that. So I'm lucky enough to have professional support for going to the GLC. And so this presentation is to try to get everyone that's on both sides of that sort of equation understanding the same information. So it's probably going to be a little repetitive for some of you, but there is new information, and I also think there's new information based on what's actually happening at Burning Man. So here we go. Hello, my name is the Burning Man Network. Wait a minute. Everybody thinks that Burning Man is an LLC event in the desert run by 6 hippies from California. It is! Those hippies created so much more. So then I go through the 10 principles, I explain that to people, because it's really not Burning Man. Burning Man's at the start of these things. It's the 10 principles, it's the overarching, what makes all of these events, Burning Man, the regionals, all of the communities come together, not because of their event or because of Burning Man the event, but the 10 principles that guide all of those things. So those 6 hippies created Burning Man Project. So this is the new nonprofit organization, and this is new as of January 1st, 2014. So this is new information as of this year. So Caroline said that in past summits or regional, whatever they were called, it was about people from the regional sharing ideas. I feel like this year it was different because the founders came together, and there's a totally new structure, or it's growing into a new structure, and it's all based on the nonprofit Burning Man Project. The Burning Man Project produces Black Rock City LLC, which is the event. You all know that. They also are responsible for creating and managing Black Rock Solar. You all know about that, I assume. Okay. Burners Without Borders for disaster relief. Black Rock Arts Foundation supports art off playa, and that's really important for the work I do, because that's where the overlap happens. That's the way I see it, is that that's where the overlap happens. And so I'm personally interested in working more with BRAF to get art from the playa to Denver. That would be awesome, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yes.
How do we make that happen? How do I make that happen? How do I make a BRAF in Denver? That's my goal.
We'll hold you to it.
And then the Burning Man Network, which is what we're all a part of, and which is what this presentation is all about. So, Burning Man Global Leadership Conference. This is a picture of a session I attended about maker spaces and free spaces. Denver is a little different, way different actually, than a lot of the other communities that were presented in a lot of these sessions, because people from Philadelphia, Reno, San Francisco, all have this issue where there's all these old warehouses with nobody in them, nobody doing anything. So the city is willing to sell them for $1. Well, in Denver and Boulder, we have the exact opposite problem. That all these warehouses and all this commercial space is being bought up by grow houses and dispensaries, and property values are going through the roof and rents are going through the roof. So we can't really use a lot of these models and apply them here. I learned a lot, but I was kind of like, every time I would raise my hand and be like, how do we do this? They were like, because it doesn't really apply. It's a totally different scenario. So there again, too, like understanding what's happening in the world is important, because you can bring those lessons back home. But I also think it's really important to understand how you're not like everyone else, and that you have unique problems, and identifying those and being able to come up with solutions for your individual unique problems. So here's a picture of the network. These are the regions. When I first went, I was like, oh yeah, there's regions, in the US, like I get regions or whatever, but no, it's global. Like the Burning Man project very much sees the regions as a global concept and the network as a global concept, which is really important to my work too, because we're an art service organization that serves the Western region, but so much of what we do is national and international through technology. So the world's actually getting smaller. We're getting closer together. We can communicate in new and different ways, and this is sort of a visual to demonstrate that all of these people are involved in the same 10 principles in creating events and communities in their local areas. So this is some metrics, because people like numbers, right? Burning Man, 73,000 people this year. Africa Burn is the second largest burn with 10,000 people, which is kind of amazing because it's in South Africa. A lot of people think that Burning Man starts and only lives in Black Rock City in Nevada, but South Africa is huge. Not that Apogaea is third, but I just wanted to include it. I feel like that's relevant, and to give you a sense of like how things fall. Apogaea is 2,200. Nowhere, which is in northern Spain, is 1,300 this year. And then Midburn, which is in Israel, is only 500 people. It's the newest burn, but it happens the exact same time as Apogaea.
Nice.
Are we actually the third largest?
No. That's what I was saying. Not that this is, it's not to scale necessarily.
Does anyone know what the
There's some missing metrics
next
in there.
largest after, I guess, Africa Burn would be? I'm just curious.
Not off the top.
Where's Flipside?
I like Flipside.
It's probably Flipside.
Flipside's
Flipside. Toast used to be pretty big too. It was bigger than Apple in the day.
Oh yeah.
But I don't know how big it is.
I think Apple might be next behind Flipside though.
Oh, wow.
Isn't
Yeah.
Flipside like 2, 3, 4, 5 or something like that to keep under the 2,500?
They got their permit this year, and they're going over 2,500 this year.
Okay.
Because they got their large event permit. But historically, they've stayed under 2,500.
Who is?
Flipside.
I think Flipside.
Thank you.
But this is a pretty good toy.
So to give you a sense of like who's at this event, 300 people from 28 countries. So that includes regional reps from probably all of the regions, I would imagine, or most of them anyway. Oh yeah, thanks. Leaders from the community, Burning Man founders and employees, and then the affiliates, which are Black Rock Solar, Burning Man, or Black Rock Arts Foundation, Burners Without Borders. So I was one of 4 community leaders nominated by the 5 Colorado regional reps. So it was me, John Collins, Kenyon, and someone else. So the theme of the whole thing, rock your city
Miss
like
Delicious?
Black Rock City. I think she was a guest. I don't think she was on. But anyway.
This is very confusing
Right. So rock your city like Black Rock City. These are the 3 tracks that you could go to sessions based on. And this picture.
Nice picture.
I'm such a nerd. I'm such a total nerd. So we had all met, Kenyon obviously, Hippie Tim in the middle there, and then on the left is Matt Schultz, who runs the Generator Project in Reno. So we all started talking about community space and civic engagement and art and how we really want to create really great things in BRAF and all these things. So we decided to go to the conference room in Burning Man headquarters and have a meeting. And so we're sitting there like drawing diagrams and taking notes and getting really into it. And then I was like, holy shit, we're in the conference room at Burning Man headquarters. Like, take my picture right now. I was so excited about it. So this is the main point. For me, the main point of the whole thing was that the Burning Man art program is going to merge, or basically absorb, the Black Rock Arts Foundation, and they're going to become one. Which is a big deal. It's a really big deal. So when you think about the amount of money and the size and scale and the community around the projects that are created for the playa, plus the projects that Black Rock Arts Foundation supports off playa, imagine that being one giant engine for community-based, participatory, transformative art. Like that's, like gives me goosebumps kind of.
What is stated?
That thing in the desert.
Oh.
So what? So who cares? What does that mean, right? So I wanted to use 3 case studies to sort of give people who aren't familiar with art on playa and what BRAF does a sort of sampling about what happens there. So this is the Embrace project, supported by the Burning Man project, Kickstarter people. It's built in Reno at the Generator project. And then here's a video.
And you finished it right.
I can't scroll down.
There's a scroll right next to it.
days ago. Sitting out in the Black Rock Desert, a tree growing out of hard desert.
He's got it, he's got it.
And we thought how beautiful it would be to create this monolithic sculpture about the same scale as the Statue of Liberty. We hope to create the first in a line of recurring projects that the community does. We feel that the man encompasses this joy and celebration of the future. And the temple encompasses this much needed release from death. We hope that embrace inspires people to be in awe of what we can build together. It's about cherishing each moment. It's about being here in the now, being present with the people you care about, with the people you love. And then you move inside, and the cathedral of the body opens up with two giant beating hearts about the size of small cars. One built in Portland, the other one built in Vancouver. And it's this kind of mangrove tree forest that we've created. And then you start on this pilgrimage route, up around the cathedral space, up into this giant platform in the shoulders where you can look out upon the playa at about 40 feet up. And then you start on this journey through the neck, which is tight and compressed, and it's almost like you're pushing yourself into your mind. And when you get to the head, you find that it's much more open than you ever expected. 15 people gather around, talking, having conversations, looking out the giant holes in the eyes at the other people in the other head, making this direct analogy to consciousness. And then you look up and you see a great open skylight out to the stars. This is a massive, massive undertaking, and that's where we need your help. We've already raised about $106,000, but we still need to.
They've got me.
Have you donated?
Sold.
No.
That's pretty awesome.
So, I mean, it's nothing new to you guys, but to people who haven't been to the playa and they don't understand the scale of these things and the amount of people and the amount of money and the amount of energy and effort that goes into creating something for a week in the desert, like, this is mind-blowing. I mean, it's mind-blowing anyway, but, you know, to give you a sense of how I'm trying to bridge groups of people here, like, using this as an example is really, I think, powerful. I'm me, though, so. The Temple for Christchurch is a really awesome project too. The guy that was in the middle of that photo, Hippie Tim, not sure that that's actually his name. I feel like I should know his name when I'm talking to our board of trustees. Like,
Hippie Tim works.
yeah, just Tim. Maybe I'll just call him Tim.
I'm not gonna write a check.
That is official legal name.
I think we're good.
Why not?
So in 2011, there was an earthquake that destroyed Christchurch, New Zealand. And so Hippie Tim and his local burner community decided to create a temple for the city to come together, to release, and to rebuild. So the top part of this graph is the seismic activity that was the earthquake that leveled the city. The bottom part of the graph is basically the elevation part of the structure of the temple that they built. And on the left here you can see what that looks like in real life. So it took them 3 years to build this thing, to work with the city, to get the city and the press and the whole community to understand what a temple is, to pour their hearts and souls into the thing, and then to get the city to let them burn it. They had to take it out of the city and like burn it like way off. But it was kind of every time he talked about it, he would almost cry. You could tell that he was so proud of this project. And it's in New Zealand too, so BRAF is supporting stuff globally, and for the people that I work with to understand that this is where we're going in terms of the arts in a global sense is really a model project.
I wanted to add the part where it was not understood at first,
Right.
and then worked out phenomenally well. Like once people got into it, it clicked.
Yeah, I mean, and this project for me personally really demonstrates the amount of work that we have to do to bridge the worlds. The amount of conversations and relationship building and explaining to people that, yeah, it's a big party in the desert, but it, again, is so much more. There's so much more to it than just a giant structure. Like, who cares? We're going to burn it. There's more to it than that. And then this is a project called Dithyrambelina, which is fun to say. It happened in 2011-12 in New Orleans after Hurricane Katrina came in and destroyed everything, of course. I'll just let you watch the video because that's fun.
words, so.
Full screen.
I'll just grab it to you guys. Should I start it over so you can read it?
I'm working on this project with New Orleans Airlift. We're working to create a building which functions as a house, but which also functions as musical architecture.
So phase 1.
We're all looking at it as this opportunity to make all this stuff that we think about all the time that's in our heads.
So the music box is really like a proof of concept. What does it mean, musical architecture? What could it be?
That's a conductor. So I'll stop it because it goes into a list of performances, but basically the idea is that this group they bought a building in New Orleans, disassembled the 200-year-old building, the house that was on that site, and then reassembled it into 6 different buildings that were musical instruments. So they got funding from BRAF, and they also, got funding from Kickstarters and that sort of thing too. I'm gonna make this full screen here.
No.
No.
Try F11. Okay, maybe.
Just a square on the
Control
bottom of
Shift
that.
F.
Well, this is the second last one anyway. But the point is that this is in New Orleans, so BRAF is interested in funding art that's transformative for communities. So when you think about art on Playa combined with art off Playa to support transformational community building participatory art, that's where we're all going. So for me to be able to say that to our board of trustees, we're a $10 million organization, that's a big deal. And that's why I did this. So in conclusion, nothing that you all don't already know. More participatory, transformative events and community and art around the world. And I'm gonna make a BRAF.